Welcome to EasyAs Business Software. My name is Ryan, and I'll be introducing you to EasyAs Business Software today. We have two versions of the program. We've got a Access version, and we have an SQL version, both of which are fully functional and supported. We will, however, be focusing more on the SQL version going forward. The version that you will download from the website today is the Access version. The system works on Microsoft Windows-based PCs and tablets only at this stage. We do have a few Android apps that sort of connect into the software, but as of the primary system, it's based on Windows only. Right, so to download the software, we go to our website, easyas.co.za. We click on the download section. Right, then once here, you put in your name, contact, email, you click send. Once you click send, it will start downloading the software. Now, our software works in conjunction with a program called PDF Creator, which is available further down on this page. So under additional software downloads, you'll see the PDF Creator for converting reports from our system into PDF or emailing reports from our system. So you don't have to have Microsoft Outlook installed. You can email it directly from the system. I must just tell you, this is a impromptu version. It's non-scripted, so excuse me if I fall around a little bit, but I'll try my best. Right. Once installed, I'm not going to go through the installation process itself. It's literally just double-clicking on the file once it's downloaded, clicking next, install, and that's it. The rest of it's pretty much automated. It will remain in demo mode until you register it. Once you've registered the software, any information that was captured in the demo mode will be carried over to the live version. So you can already, if you are finding you're enjoying the software and it is for you, and you want to carry over your stock or your suppliers or whatever the case may be, or your client's file, that will be done in the paid for version once you've paid. Right, so our system works with a password, alphanumeric password. I know this is just a numpad, but you can use alphanumeric combinations for the password. We also make use of RFID tags with the reader, so each user gets an RFID tag, which they then swipe over a pad, which logs them in. And then, of course, fingerprint readers, the digital persona, as well as the ZK fingerprint readers. Those are the only two models that are supported on our system. But in this case, we're just going to be using the password. The default password is 123, so we simply type in 123, and then we will be greeted with this main screen. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to explain each of the buttons and the menus, and then we'll start with the stock and basically work from there. Today I'm going to be doing the retail version. So the retail version is for literally any retail type environment, pet shop, hardware, blah, blah, blah. So basically any industry where you're buying and selling inventory or stock. Okay, so the first point of note on the top left here, we've got who's logged in. Right, at the moment it's just EasyAs demo. It's in the retail version. Log out will log you out of the system. That will simply minimize the screen if you're using your PC for any other thing, any other software. Then if we go down here, you'll see this version at the moment is the SQL version. That's the software version currently. Then we've got our question mark here. Under the question mark, we've got a help file. So there we've got quite a comprehensive help file, which will guide you through various aspects of all the modules on the system. So from installation to technical assistance and so it's quite a comprehensive help file. You can read that at your own time. Then we've got our support numbers there. So we've got a national network of installers and agents that support our system and sell our system. You can basically just contact the guy who's closest to you, or you can contact us obviously via email or telephone. Right, and then we've got update. So the software will obviously warn you when there's an update, and then you can just update. Support menu and about. Then we've got our settings screen. So here we'll be setting various aspects of the program. In other words, business information, any company logos, banking details, etc. Global parameters. These are all pretty much set. You can go through them obviously and set them up and customize them to the way that you want it. Hardware settings, slip printers, slip printer settings, the different types of slip printers, the hardware, the reports printer under the hardware section, then other peripherals like scales, custom or poll displays, cache draw parameters, and the various scanners. So there's the RFID tags I spoke about for your user login, and those are the two models, right? That's quite an old one there, but it's the ZK, and then obviously the more common digital persona. We actually encourage the digital persona. It's just, in my opinion, a better product. The ZK is just a cheaper version of a fingerprint reader, but it still does the job. Right, and then we've got our email settings. So obviously when we email any cache up reports or whatever get emailed to this email, you can add additional emails by putting in a semicolon followed by a space and then the email address. Okay, but I'm not going to go into that now. And then messages, quotation terms and conditions, invoice terms and conditions, and then slip messages. So under our slip messages, we can print a 4-line slip message, and then we can also print our logo on top of the slip as well. So logo you'll be inserting your logo under this option here. So just a nice JPEG or bitmap format, and there's the pixels. Although that's just a guideline, the software will automatically resize it to what it requires. And once you're happy, once you've set up everything, all your system parameters or whatever, you just close the window. It will ask you to save. You just say yes, and that saves it. Okay. Then moving on, here we've got our server. At this stage, it's just the single PC. You can add additional terminals to it, which share live data. So as you do additions or changes on one terminal, it will automatically be populated to all others in real time. Right, then on top we've got our traditional menus. On top here we've got our processing menu. That's where we'll go and load stock. So under our loading supply invoice, we'll select the supplier. So let's say, for example, our supplier was Macro. We're then going to put in our invoice number, 123. We will then put in excluding or including VAT. That is based on each line item on the invoice. So if it's excluding, which is 99% of the time, you'll select excluding. If it's including, then you obviously select including. And then obviously if we're working excluding, we have to make the total also excluding. So let's say the excluding total is 2,134 Rand. Then we simply click continue and we start loading our stock. Once we've added all the items on the supply invoice, we click complete. That will then save the invoice. It also won't allow you to load the same invoice number twice, obviously, from the same supplier. It will then automatically update your stock for you as well. And then also additional options like printing barcode labels and a packing slip. So a packing slip is basically a A4 sheet that you give your staff member to go and put the items onto the floor, make sure that the pricing on the shelf talkers and the rest of the pricing matches what we have loaded on the supplier or using the supplier invoice. What's also fine in this instance is, let's say you are loading stock and the power kicks off, and we've got our famous Eskom guys that like pulling the plug on us. Your loading invoice will be saved, so you can just go back in and continue where you left off. So that's basically a feature of the stock loading system as well. Right, then we've got under processing, we've got quick stock add that will add stock to the system without a supply invoice. So if you've got, let's say, stock that you brought from home, or you've got stock that you just want to load on without an invoice, you can literally just go there, scan the items in, add it to the system automatically. Inter-branch transfer, that is when we have more than one branch. We can move stock between branches using that module. So that also will email the receiving store a file which they can then import into our system, so they don't have to type everything out again once they receive the stock. Then we've got a manufacturer that's used mainly in the hospitality version, but it is available in the retail version. What that is, it's basically if you're manufacturing a certain product that you sell based on other stock items in your stock master. So it essentially builds the item and removes all the items that are required for that manufacture out of the stock for you automatically. But yeah, I'll explain that in detail a bit later. My Warehouse, we've got a feature called My Warehouse, which is a cage or a room in your business or your garage at home where you've got stock that you store. So basically, your warehouse is your warehouse is separate from the main live stock in EasyAs. So if you want to transfer stock into the main system, you can transfer it from the warehouse into the live EasyAs system. Okay, then we've got a payslip generation module where you can generate payslips for your staff. I must remind you that EasyAs is not an accounting system. It's not like Pastel or QuickBooks or one of those. It's simply a business software. So we can, however, export information from our system to Excel, to a CSV format, which Pastel and QuickBooks and those accounting packages like Xero, they can all pull in. So we can make it that they integrate, if you understand what I'm saying. So it's not like it's it's not totally separate. You can do that. And also all the sales reports, VAT reports and whatever are available in our system. So you can actually quite comfortably get by without an accounting package using our system. But yeah, there's the basic pay. So there's just two types. So you can have a look at each one of those. Then we've got a stock take procedure. So we've got a controllable stock count. What that will mean is everything that you flag or tick or mark as a controllable, you can do regular stock takes on. So that's like you're doing, let's say you run a bakery and you've got cool drinks and you've got cookies and you've got this and that. So you can do different categories multiple times throughout the week. So that's why we call it a controllable stock count. We're not doing a stock take once a month. We're doing stock takes on an ongoing basis. So that's what controllable stock count means. Print stock take sheets. That is if you want to first physically print a sheet, go and account the items, put it in, then come back and put it in on the system. You print the stock take sheets there. Stock take is a traditional stock take where we close our business for a few hours or normally the whole day on a Sunday, and we count the stock and we transfer the stock and we print variance reports, etc., etc. So that's the traditional stock take procedure. Then we've got a rapid stock count. What that means is it's a quick method using a wireless barcode scanner where you walk around your store, you scan, and you literally have two people, one manning the terminal, one manning the scanner and counting, and you're literally just shouting. But as you update, or as the person on the PC clicks save or enter or next, it automatically or immediately, updates the stock for you. So there's no sort of variance reports and stuff like that. It's literally just you walking around the shop, scanning, calling out the quantity, and it's immediately updating your stock on it. Then we've also got import stock text file. So what that is, we support what they call a data collection terminal. So it's essentially a handheld barcode scanner that you scan, you enter the quantities, and you basically go throughout the entire shop. You then connect it to the PC and you import the text file. It will then tell you based on your count and what's on the system, what your variances are, and then it obviously transfers the counted stock to your stock file. So those are the various methods of stock taking. We've also got an Android app which is used for like a data collection terminal, where you scan the product, put in the quantity, and then you also import the stock text file. So we've basically got quite a few mechanisms when it comes to counting stock. Okay, then under view, quotations. So all your quotations that you generate at point of sale will be done here. Supply invoices loaded, as it says there. Any items that were loaded under here, or invoices, will be stored under here. So if you want to go do an inquiry, so let's say, for example, I want to show all macro invoices from this date to this date, it will show me all the invoices here. I can even do an invoice search, okay? So invoice number search, or I can do an item. So let's say, for example, I want to find a certain pen or whatever. I can type in the product description there, and it will basically list the invoices on which that item was loaded. And obviously underneath here we'll have the more detail, like with regards to the items themselves, like how many you loaded, what the quantity, the stock, etc. The quantity, the retail, and the cost was. And then you can also right click over here. This will give you extra options to reprint the invoice, reprint the packing slip, reprint barcodes. You can even delete the invoice, or you can change the date on the invoice. Okay, that's under view. Then we've got, client orders. That's basically just for industries where you get clients calling in and they're literally ordering items from you. So it generates a client order as such. It stays as open. It's almost basically like a lay-by kind of thing. They pay a deposit, until it's manufactured or ready for collection. You can then book it out. But that's also another topic for discussion. Then we've got lay-bys, traditional lay-by. Client purchases items, puts a deposit, and then pays it off, and then obviously gets the items once he's paid. Sales orders, same pretty much as client orders. Subtle differences there, but I'm not going to go into detail because, it's not, we'll get into that at a later stage. Job cards, again, the job card system is available, or should I say, the job card system uses the retail version. So they're kind of, obviously we need some kind of point of sale for the job card. So those two kind of work together. So the job card version is available in the retail version, or vice versa. Online web orders. So if you have a website that you sell items online, we can integrate with that online website. And basically what will happen is, as you receive an order online, EasyAs will notify you there's an online order has been placed. Has it been paid for? Yes or no? How has it been paid? Get the order ready. SMS the client to say it's ready, or however you want to run that. But yes, our system does integrate with online websites, web stores. Pending IBTs, that is once you've generated an IBT, it will then remain there until you've completed it. In other words, confirmed did your other branch receive it, then you can mark it as complete. Serial tracker, those are for items that require serial tracking, for example, computer repair or computer shops. When they sell a hard drive, for example, that is serialized, you can record that for warranty purposes. So that's what the serial tracker is used for. Deliveries, where you can schedule invoices for delivery for certain days, or dates and time, should I say. Then we've also got a voucher system. So our system can generate vouchers, which you can use either as a form of a refund. So if you don't necessarily want to refund the client cash or card, or in any other way, you can give them a voucher which they can redeem. So and that can also be used for sponsors or for gifts or whatever. Expense categories. Okay, so expense categories, if we're doing payments out of the till, in other words, petty cash out, we can specify expense categories there. So there you'll have also things like, let's say, Pick and Pay, where you're going to be buying your bread and milk from every day. So you can say Pick and Pay, save it as expense category. So when you do a payment out of the till, you can say Pick and Pay for milk and bread, petty cash out 50 Rand. When they bring the change back, you say petty cash in, and you just book in the change. Then the system will automatically work out, obviously, what the petty cash was, and also account for it on your cash up slip or report at the end of the day. Okay, so that's expense categories. And then we've got sales allocation categories. So sales allocation you can use for anything. Let's say you have a Valentine special or a Halloween special, and you just want to assign certain sales to that, you can use sales allocations for those type of things. So again, clients also use that for commission for the users, although there's another way. But let's say they want to allocate a sale, let's say it's a pawn shop and they get commission based on their sales, they can print a sales allocation report and obviously incentivize the staff in that way. Although there are other ways of doing it as well, but we'll get into that again later. Utilities, there we've got an invoice search. So if a client calls in, they said, I've just ordered or I just bought all these items, you can pull up the invoice there, reprint it or whatever the case may be. Then under, POS Touch menu editor, we've got two interfaces as such. We've got a more touchscreen friendlier version of the point of sale screen, and then we've got obviously a screen where you make use of the mouse and keyboard. So the POS Touch menu editor, that's where you go and edit your touchscreen menu. We'll get into that later. Barcode label maker, the system generates barcodes automatically. You can automatically generate barcodes on our system. Images database, that we did for a client at one stage. It's, as it says, it's literally just a database of images. So you can use that for whatever. Then we've got our management column. So under management, we've got all management functions essentially. So these two, especially this one, will only be available to administrators and the admin account. The reports column here, where all the reports are housed, is a permission. So again, I'll get into that later. So not everyone on your system can view reports. Only those people that you assign a permission to view reports can view the reports. Okay, but under management, we've got daily totals. So under daily totals, here we'll have our breakdown. So it will give your cash transactions, your card. Other will be EFT, SnapScan, Zapper, or whatever. And then, yes, like I said, it gives you a breakdown, cash transfers, your petty cash, blah, 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 blah. If we click on item sales, that will list all the line items that we've sold for the day. And then invoices will be invoice totals only with the method of payment shown here. So these three tabs, totals, invoices, item sales. If you want to get an overview, let's say you've got 4 or multiple terminals connected, and you just, as the owner, just want to see, okay, where am I standing on for today? I can click on this drop-down box here. I can say all, and it will literally give me all the totals, the running totals for the day on all my terminals. I can also do searches here. If I click on the magnifying glass, I can search by different filters, so that you can see I can search by description, category, and I can actually filter this items list as well. Okay, then there's various quick reports at the bottom here too. Once we've cashed up, everything from daily totals gets transferred to sales history. So once I've cashed up, it clears all the totals, clears all the items ready for the next shift or the next day, and that gets, like I said, transferred to sales history, which you will then find under reports and under sales history. So going back to management, cash up procedure, right? There's obviously no sales at the moment, so I can't really show you the cash up procedure, but we'll get there. Month-end procedure, you don't have to do a month-end procedure on our system as such. You can basically, the purpose of this section here is that it just brings everything together. So you'll go to your month-end procedure, you'll say from the first to the end of the month, you'll click show. There you can print a monthly report. There it will give you the breakdown. And then you can also perform additional actions like charging interest on overdue accounts or running a statement run. So in other words, where you email, obviously, all the statements out to your clients. Then there's also a print and export function, like I said, for Pastel and QuickBooks. So that's where you'll go and export information into CSV. Then under management again, we've got our just float. So over here, we've got an option to have either a fixed float, okay? So if we have, let's say, a 600 Rand float in our till every day, doesn't vary, then I suggest or encourage you to enable that. If you don't enable that, then this float screen will appear on cash up, and then you'll literally take out all the money that you want till you get the desired float. But again, if you're using a fixed float, just set that on. It will just save a pop-up screen and a little bit of clicking effort. Okay, then under management, we've got global float adjust. So once we've registered each terminal for the first time, we can adjust the float from the back office as well. So we don't have to assign, we don't have to go physically to the till and say, okay, it's now 700 Rand. We can do that from the back office. Back office safe, we can use that for safe drops as well as issuing money out of the safe. So that would be for if somebody's running short on float, or if your business is in a sort of a less secure area and you want to do safe drops for every 1,000 Rand or every 2,000 Rand, that's where this gets done. Sales analysis will give you a graphical representation of your business over the last 3 years for each month. So it will just give you a nice graphical representation how your business is doing. This can also be done per item. So in your Stockmaster, let's say you want to see how many Cokes you've sold for a period. You can go and select the date period or the period, and it can also give you this information for the last 3 years. So you can see basically when you should stock more up on Coke, let's say in the summer months, for example. Okay, then we've got unpaid CAD. So you have the option at point of sale to do a CAD sale. CAD obviously is cash on delivery sale. So you're not necessarily getting the money or the payment now. When you're generating the invoice, you're first delivering it, then you're getting payment. So that will remain as an unpaid CAD until you pay for it or sign a payment to it. Bank account, that is just a basic little ledger program, input, output, or credit debit, where you can put in your balance brought forward from your bank account, and when you cash up at night, the totals get automatically added into this bank account. And yeah, it just helps you on EasyAs keep tabs of your expenses, income and expenses. Manage users where we were earlier. In fact, let's just go in there and create a user. Okay, so remember, admin's the built-in account. So I'm going to go and add a user. Here we can select administrator or user. Administrator will be a manager, shop manager. User will literally be a till staff or a till attendant. Okay, under the username, we just put in the person's name. Let's say Pi. Put in the password. Let's say this goes. I'm just going to make it the number 1. And like I said, you can make it A1, for example. It doesn't have to be only numeric. So we can make. I'm just going to make it 1 at this stage. And then moving here on the right-hand side, you can see user permission. So here we've got things like can load supply invoices. Yes, she can. Can send SMSs. Yes, she can. Open cash drawer with F12. So that's without doing a sale. I can just push F12 on the keyboard. It'll kick the drawer open. Cannot cash up. So if only the manager is cashing up. Can print the cash up report. Some owners of businesses don't want their staff to see what their turnover is. They just want them to count the money, and so that option then you will tick. They can't print the cash up report, so they can't see what they made basically for the day. Can process petty cash. In other words, payments out of the till for supply invoices, for bread and milk at the store or whatever. And you can go along. So there's quite a few there, all self-explanatory. You can also put in the rate per hour. Once you're happy, you just click save. That takes you out. Do you want to create another one? In this case, I'm just going to say no. So you can see there's the admin and there's the one that I've just created. If I want to do any changes, I'll literally just double click on it, make the change, click save again. You can also put a picture of them if you so want to do. Okay, then under management, all right, so that's the management column. And then under our report section, here we've got quite an extensive range of reports, as you can see, but just to highlight a few, cash up history reports. That's basically your cash ups, where you can do reprints. Sales history, as I said, once you cash up, everything gets transferred to sales history. So you'll basically go into sales history, you'll select the date range, click show. It'll give you a reports, built-in report templates on that tab. And then we've got custom reports as well, where you can literally select the columns that you want or don't want to appear on your report. You can print it or you can export it to Excel. And again, that report is available on the screen as well. Okay, then under our, sorry for the noise in the background here. Okay, then under our reports, we've got stock reports. Again, an extensive range of stock reports, a complete stock listing alphabetically by department, by category, print item or stock in from a certain supplier or in a certain category. So this, again, I'm not going to go into, we can spend a whole day on reports. So basically, you can go in, just see what you're looking for and print it. And again, you can email it using PDF Creator or convert it to PDF. Let's say you don't have a reports printer, you just want to connect, you just want to print the report to PDF, connect a flash drive, copy it onto the flash drive, go print it at home, or just keep it in digital format like PDF. Okay, then we've got other reports like supplier purchases, supplier balances, client reports, client listing, blah, blah, blah. So there's quite a few. But one report I want to bring to your attention is this one. And this one is a very important business tool for owners. This is called the system log report. So basically what happens here is all activity gets recorded on the system. And you can go back from when you started. On a particular day, let's say on the 1st of August, you want to go, it was a Monday, you want to click show. It will then show you everything that happened on the system. So I'm just going to go here to the 28th. So here you can see. So I viewed the system log, I accessed stock report. So what's nice about this is you can, if you go away for, let's say, a weekend and you come back and you want to know what your staff have been up to on the system, or your manager, you can see what he's been doing on the system. This is also another facility only available to the admin account. So your managers can't go in here and view this. Only you can as the admin account. So that's another, besides the fact that the admin can only add user accounts, the admin account can only view the system log. Right, so those are our menus on top. Then these are quick launch buttons. Okay, so here we've got point of sale. That's when self-explanatory. We got the point of sale screen. Quotations, this is a modular button. So let's say you're doing a lot of lay-bys, you can change this to a lay-by button. But this button here in particular is a customizable quick launch button. Then we've got our clients database, so all our clients' details will be stored here. Then we've got our phone book. That's just a general telephone book, plumber, electrician, air condition technician, or whatever. So it's a basic telephone book. Suppliers, where all your supplier information will be stored, with all their contact details and relevant information like your account number with them, etc., etc. Then the important part of any business, stock master. Here you'll maintain all aspects of the stock. Notes is just a notes keeping system, so you don't write reminders or important information down on paper. You put it in on the system. A nice use of this facility is if, let's say, for example, you have a client that you need to do a special order for, or something that you have in stock that you need to get back to them on. You can create a note, get the stock in, and then SMS them to say, right, Mr. Jones, your item has arrived. You can come and collect it. So notes, very important. We use notes every day in our business. Okay, then calendar. Self-explanatory, just a basic calendar system where you can make important dates, reminder dates. Orders, where you generate purchase orders for your suppliers. You can generate a purchase order here for a particular supplier and email it from the system. So it generates a purchase order, which then will be stored under your supplier purchase orders here. So once you've generated the purchase order and they've delivered it, you can then print the purchase order out and check it against what they're delivering. Obviously, as you know, sometimes they either forget, they don't have stock of something that you wanted or ordered, or they're adding something that you didn't order. So it's just a nice check. What's nice about it as well, you can do back ordering. So let's say, for example, there was stock that they didn't have in stock that you wanted. You can then mark those items as back order, and it will remain on back order. And then once it comes in, you can just go back into supplier purchase orders and load it into stock. What's nice about the supplier purchase orders here is once you're happy and you've put in the quantities and the totals and all that, you can actually add it automatically to your stock loading. So it'll add all those items into your processing under here. So it'll add all items in here that you've ordered from the purchase order, and then you literally go complete. So why that's nice is that you don't have to type all the items out again. I mean, it's as a purchase order, so it just converts the purchase order into an invoice now that you're going to load into the system. So that's quite a nice little feature or function of that supplier purchase orders. Okay, then we've got an SMS button. So how the SMS function works is under your settings, you will go to global parameters. You'll then go to Win SMS. So if you click on that link there, it will take you to the Win SMS gateway, where you'll register with them and you'll purchase credits through them. So once you've registered with them, you'll receive a username and a password. The username is normally your email address, and password obviously that you've chosen. And you then put that information in over here. Okay, username and password. You then click test to make sure that they are, that it's communicating correctly with the gateway, and that's it. Then your SMS function is ready.